Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we're checking out a package from CJRB, and hopefully I made you dizzy with that intro. I don't even know what the heck I was doing, but hey, we check out knife and EDC gear here on a daily basis. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It looks like we have a knife that we're about to unbox right here from CJRB. I love to share my raw first impressions with you guys unboxing these knives. Then I get a chance to carry them for a couple of weeks and come back to you with a comprehensive review on this knife. So if you're new around here, again, subscribe to the channel. If you aren't already, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. And of course, this knife and every other knife that you see in this video will be linked down below. So if you're interested in checking prices, availability, variants, and all that good stuff, all the links will be down there in the description and pinned comment. So this one came in a box. So I went ahead and took out the other box just so we could cut to the chase, if you know what I mean. So inside the package, we got the zipper pouch here, CJRB branded white wiping cloth on this guy, and ooh, that's a nice blue right there. Right, let's take a look. Right, tiny small little guy right here. All right, I'm digging that. I'm digging that 100%. So let's see. Could it be that we're finally checking out the, I want to say, I think the CJRB did this a while back where they took the Pyrite design and they kind of brought it to a smaller form factor, which is pretty cool. And this is it. This is that smaller Pyrite. This one has the, obviously beautiful blue aluminum scales. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I want to say, I mean, it's cold to the touch, right? And they do have liners on the inside. So we have recessed liners on this one, aluminum scales going on here. So it's not solid stainless steel. We do have liners on the inside. It's a button lock with thumb studs, just like the original Pyrite. We will be doing some size comparisons here in just a moment, right? First impressions, I mean, it is pretty lightweight. I can tell you that right off the bat. I also like that they sort of shrunk the standard pocket clip, right, on the Pyrite here, the mini version, because you can see it's basically the same standard pocket clip, except they shrunk it a little bit, which is nice. It definitely gives it a good aspect ratio in this smaller chassis, if you would. So that's the way to go there. It is deep carry. It's also reversible. This is a ambidextrous knife after all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this guy deployed here, shall we? Well, bam. Take a look at this beautiful drop point blade. I'm gonna give it a nice little wipe here, right? Get it nice and clean. We got a beautiful satin finish on this bad boy. Flat grind, of course, drop point blade. We have AR RPM 9 steel going on this one, which we learned recently is a spray form steel. Check out Knife Steel Nerds video on AR RPM 9 if you want to learn more details. But CJRB logo on this side, the model and steel on this other side, and that's about it for billboarding. Now my OCD is going to drive me crazy if I don't wipe this off. I think that's about as clean as I can get it there. So let's check it out here. Ooh, baby, that is one slicey blade right there, to say the least. Loving the action already. Right, good drop. Kind of breaking it in for the first time. You just saw me take it out of the box there. All right, nice little snappy on the open there. Of course, this guy has some ball bearings. But the one thing you'll notice, or I'm noticing, is the blade being smaller, right? It doesn't have as much weight as a bigger blade. So it does help if you kind of give it a little bit of a flick of the wrist there on the close. Thumb stud deployment is just as good as on the full-size Pyrite. I can thumb deploy it. I can reverse flick it, right? All day, every day. Even with the meat and the nail of my middle finger. So both are just as good as you would expect. Good alignment there, smack in the middle. I mean, it's looking gorgeous on this blue aluminum. I've gotten a chance to check out quite a few blue aluminum knives recently, and they all look really, really nice. Checked out the Divo NIP light. It's looking pretty good. And also the Fentiso harp also look pretty good on that blue aluminum as well. So yeah, lots to love here, right? So anytime they make a smaller design from a bigger knife, kind of gives everybody something to love here. I know there's tons of people who love extra large knives. I myself am more of a medium to large knife. There's a lot of people out there that do enjoy a smaller knife, especially if you live somewhere where you have local laws that prevent you from carrying a certain length blade or certain length sharp tool on your person. You know, maybe you live somewhere, or maybe you work at an office, right? You work at an office setting. You don't want to take out a big old blade that's going to scare your coworkers. So maybe something like this is going to be more appropriate for that. And I'm not sure if I heard that right, but is there a ting on the open? Take a listen. A little bit of a ting there on the opening there for acoustics, if you ask me. So that's definitely the cherry on top. So one thing you'll notice, let's talk ergonomics, right? So obviously, if you do the standard grip, right, the pinky is going to be here in no man's land. This knife was intended for you to forward choke, right? If you do forward choke, guess what? Full purchase right there, all day, every day. You can even see the handle. A little bit of the handle left on this side. Beautiful finger choil, nice and round. That is one thing CJRB definitely knows how to do. A finger choil, sharpening choil, and yes, forward choking on this bad boy. Not only do I have more control of the blade, but also, you know, feels nice and comfortable, feels the hand. Not to mention the aluminum here is nice and contour all the way around, so that's going to be comfortable. Great for ergonomics, right? That's a good. With this tiny pocket clip, this guy is easily a 9.5, 9.8 out of 10. So that's feeling pretty solid right there. And one thing I did mention is we do have those speed holes on the inside. So those definitely help with the weight department, as you can imagine, right? One standoff here, right? Big tube there for my lanyard people is accented in sort of this brass color, if you would. And another standoff back here, which is one of the body screws, but also one of the pocket clip screws also. So yeah, very, very interesting take on the Pyrite. So, I mean, without further ado, let's do some size comparison. I'm going to bring out the OG Pyrite. I mean, this knife took the world by storm when it came out. It was one of the most recommendable EDC knives of all times, and still is. Obviously, CJRB has capitalized on that. They have made many different models, right? You got the Mini. I think this one might be called the Mica, if I'm not mistaken. And correct me if I'm wrong, future me, put on the screen right there. They even made the Pyrite large or XL, the Pyrite large or XL or extra large. It's basically the same design as the regular size Pyrite, but bigger. So I mean, there's definitely lots to love there. If you love the Pyrite, you can get it in any shape, size, or maybe just collect all three. You can have the whole family, right? Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear, if you would. Also, a while after the Pyrite was released, they released the Pyrite Alt. That's also one of my all-time favorite EDC knives because of the blade geometry, right? If I had to choose between a drop point and a reverse tanto, aka sheep's foot Warncliffe, right? I'm going to go this route most of the time, but also, you know, still enjoy a good, beautiful drop point blade every day of the week. So definitely have lots to choose from, right? Obviously, this guy's going to be a little bit more on the tiny end of things, right? If you would. So let me do a little bit, you know, more of a accurate size comparison, right? Go ahead and put it here next to the new Nano Shark from Demko Knives, right? Check out the unboxing on this guy if you haven't already, right? It's a little bit thicker on the handles there, 20 CV steel, still rocking that shark lock. Here's the mini Corgi Pup from Vosteed, right? That's going to be a little bit bigger, just a hair longer, if you would, right? Just kind of keeping it in this small size category of things. Speaking of that blue aluminum on the Divo NIP light right there, take a look. Right, this one has seen some use, right? Did a little bit of cutting cardboard with that one. Right, it's a little bit shorter than the CJRB. Again, I want to say they kind of named them differently because you would have thought this would have been the Pyrite Mini. But I think they call this the Mica or something. But yeah, definitely a little bit bigger or smaller than this guy. Here's another Vosteed, the Mini Labrador. Right, that one's going to be just a hair bigger, but also a much narrower design overall. And last but not least, there's the Kizer Mini Militaw, right? And you can see, you know, Kizer has a whole different take on Mini because even their Mini is much bigger than this Mini. But here is the Kansept Mini Mainstream, right? So that one's going to be a hair shorter even than that. So take a look there for yourself. Again, hopefully you own some of these, right? That's more or less just aiming at giving you a ballpark where this guy lands size-wise. Say if we had to be more specific, I'll tell you right now, this guy comes in at around 5.5 overall length, right? That blade is going to be close to somewhere around 2.3, right? 2.3 inches. The blade is going to be 2 inches, right? So there you go. Those are your measurements there. And of course, you know, we got to do our scientific cutting test. I got a piece of notebook paper here. Gonna go through that paper like nobody's business. Can we get some swirls going? All right. Absolutely can. And of course, you know, with a smaller blade, you just want to be mindful of your cutting path. You don't want to cut and then slide out of the cut because you ran out of cutting path. If you can keep it around the same portion of the blade throughout the entire cut, then you're not going to taper off, so you should be good. Boom. If you're going to cut paper, right? You probably could have guessed it. Of course, it is going to cut paper, no doubt. And as far as cardboard, I got a single wall piece of cardboard here. So remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but rather at an angle. And it's going to look something like this. Boom, bam. Wow. That is actually cutting surprisingly really good. I'm not even sure why I'm so impressed, but I mean, I was just thinking, you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's a tiny little knife. Why would it cut so good? It's tiny, you know. Knives, the bigger the blade, the longer the cutting path, the better. You know, so you know, don't underestimate the little guys. Just don't, because they might just surprise you. That's for sure. So, yeah, I mean, this thing is a flat grind. It's just a slicey. It's just as slicey as it gets. And yeah, it did quick work of that cardboard, to say the least. So you guys let me know in the comments, right? On a scale from 1 through 10, how sharp is this guy? How sharp is it out of the box? You definitely let me know. Lock up on this thing, rock solid, no up and down, no side to side, right? No pivot lash of any kind. Of course, it is a traditional plunge lock button lock, where you have that sort of cylinder under spring tension. Once the blade opens all the way, right, that cylinder slides out, locking the blade in place. Then when you push the button, you push the cylinder back down, allows the blade to close. Pay attention right here. And then the cylinder comes out once again, right, to reveal, or to, you know, sort of create a detent, if you would, right? Obviously, you overcome this as you deploy the knife, but, you know, that sort of plunge lock creates the detent, since we don't have a dedicated detent ball on a button lock knife. So there you go, a little bit of knife anatomy knowledge for you today. Well, there you guys have it. This is the CJRB, I'm just going to call it Mini Pyrite, because I think that's what they should have called it. But again, it might be the Mica. Future me is going to have a crazy time editing this video. I just know it. But that being said, one thing I want to take a moment to just give kudos to CJRB. CJRB is one of, actually the first brand to actually make it to the TikTok shop, right? So obviously you got to be living under a rock if you don't know what TikTok is. You know, social media platform taking the world by storm, you know, going viral and things like that, you know, making vertical videos. But they recently launched the shop implementation, and out of all the knife brands that we work with, that we actually recommend, that actually make quality tools that we will feel comfortable sharing, not just myself, but other YouTube knife content creators as well, CJRB is, from what I understand, the very first one to actually make it to the TikTok shop, just adding another new avenue, another way to actually get knives directly over to you. I do believe these are actually on a pretty sweet deal right now. If you want to check them out, you absolutely can. Do believe, because they just recently launched a store, you can actually pick these up at a smaller price than you can some of the other links. But I will have a link to the TikTok shop down below, so you guys can definitely check it out. I mean, there's lots to love about this knife right here, especially if you know someone who's into smaller knives, right? I know, for example, my wife, right? She is definitely into smaller knives. She absolutely loves a smaller EDC all day, every day. And I can tell you right now, the moment she sees this knife here, she's definitely going to fall in love right away when she sees it. I can almost guarantee you that. And not only that, but CJRB has plenty of other models, right? If you like medium knives, they got you. If you like large knives, they got you. If you like extra large knives, they absolutely got you covered. So all links down below. This guy on the TikTok shop, as well as other sites, and also every other knife that you saw in this video as well. Keep in mind, it does help out the channel when you use those links, but that is entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. If you made it to this point in the video, well, give yourself a tap in the back, because you're awesome. Thank you for your love and support. It really means a lot to me. Go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It will be absolutely appreciated. Gets this video pushed to a larger audience. And hey, if you love and enjoy knife and EDC content like this on a daily basis, please do consider subscribing. I promise you it'll be worth coming back for more, and you will not be disappointed, right? Check out this 5x zoom right here. Looking pretty good. There's that milling on the inside I was telling you guys about, right? Let me start doing that here more often going forward. So really hope you guys enjoyed this one, right? Again, you know, really having tons of fun making these videos for you guys. I'll be carrying this guy, gathering feedback for a comprehensive review here in the near future. Shout out to CJRB for sending this one in for me to check out and share with you guys. Shout out to my Patreon supporters on screen there for supporting what I do here. You guys can support the channel on Patreon or right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. Well, thank you guys. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. I'll put 2 other videos on your screen there for 2 other CJRB models that you're absolutely going to love. I'll definitely check those out, guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video, either this one or this one. Peace.